Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Ernest from TripAstute. In this video, I'm going to explore using Plastic to pay for bills that normally aren't payable by credit cards and share some tips and tricks for using the service. As you all know, I started doing free credit card consultations last month and the response has been amazing. So thank you to all of you who signed up, and for those of you who haven't, you should definitely take advantage of it. It's been an awesome experience meeting with folks in our community and also working to understand and recommend credit card strategies for them. One thing that seems to come up a lot when meeting with folks is anxiety over applying for certain credit cards because of the minimum spend requirements in order to earn the welcome offer. I totally get this feeling. I'm also not a big spender in my daily life. In fact, those that know me will probably tell you that I'm probably overly frugal at times, especially when it comes to dining out and specifically drinks. So today I want to share a service that I know a lot of you use to help reduce the stress that comes with meeting a minimum spend requirement. It's a service called Plastic and it's practically designed for people like us, credit card users that are looking for opportunities to maximize our rewards by being strategic with our spending. But first, if you're new here, welcome to our channel. TripAstute is a travel channel that is focused on sharing ways to make travel easier, affordable, and more enjoyable. Traveling can be stressful and expensive, so we're looking for ways to help you maximize your experience through travel tips, points and miles, and innovative gear. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Plastic has been around since 2009. This is important to know since a lot of these type of services have come and gone over the years, but Plastic has remained in business and been a reliable service. I've been using them since I started the points and miles hobby in 2011 or so, and their service has always been a great way to use your credit card to pay for expenses in your life that normally aren't credit card friendly. This includes things like rent payments, utilities, car payments, business vendors, basically anything. The process is just like using your online bill pay with your bank, except the charge is processed on your credit card as a purchase and not a cash advance. Plastic then makes either an electronic payment or sends a check in the mail to pay your bill. It's really a simple and no hassle way to shift some spending onto your credit cards. The catch though is that Plastic does charge a 2.5% transaction fee for credit card payments. Now you might be asking, why would anyone want to pay 2.5% to make a purchase? Well, I know that I personally relied on Plastic when I needed to complete the minimum spend on a new credit card. Since I'm not a big spender, I try to align my credit card applications with big purchases in my life. But sometimes the timing just doesn't work out, and in those cases, Plastic has helped me to meet the minimum spend. So getting back to the question, the reason it might be worth paying the fee is that the benefits that you'll often get from a welcome offer usually offsets the fee that you would have to pay to use the service. For example, if I were to apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred right now in February 2019, I would need to spend $4,000 in 3 months in order to earn the welcome offer 50,000 points. If I were to pay my rent or bills to cover the full $4,000 of the minimum spend, I'd be looking at $100 in transaction fees. If we were to assume that each Chase Ultimate Reward point is worth 1.25 cents, which is probably the minimum value in which you would redeem, then 50,000 Ultimate Reward points are equal to $625. If you were to value the points at 2 cents, as the points guy does, then 50,000 points are worth $1,000. So in the big picture, the fee might be worth the cost if you know that you can earn a large and valuable welcome offer in the process. I even know some people who pay their rent or mortgage every month with Plastic since they feel that they come out on top. For example, a friend of mine uses his American Express Blue Business Plus credit card to pay his studio rent every month using Plastic, since he generally is able to squeeze more than 2 cents a point on flights to Asia using ANA. Since a card earns 2 membership reward points per dollar, he calculates the earning rate of the card to be closer to 4%. With that in mind, he's willing to pay the fee since he feels like he's coming out on top. To use Plastic, all you have to do is head over to their website and sign up for an account. It's completely free. You'll be asked to confirm your email. Once you confirm it, you'll enter your personal data. There's also a section at the bottom to enter a referral code. If you need one, you can use TripAstute to get $500 of free dollars after you spend $500 using the service. Once your account is set up, you'll want to add credit cards to your account. Plastic allows you to add Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, JCB, and Diners Club to their service. Once your cards are set up, you'll click Start a Payment. You can then add a new recipient, or if you've already done so, you can start scheduling your payment. Just like any bill pay program, you'll be asked to see if the vendor is already in their database, which then allows them to make an electronic payment. And you'll be asked for details like whether you want to make a single or repeating payment and the exact date of payment delivery. You'll also have the opportunity to apply any free dollars that you may have earned. Just click on Apply My Free Dollars option at the review screen before you submit your payment. This will apply the credit toward your payment. Plastic also offers expedited payments for both electronic and check payments. It's 3% instead of the 2.5 transaction fee, plus additional fees for FedEx overnight and handling. I wouldn't use it unless you really need it, but the option is available. Plastic also offers domestic and international wire options, but those cost extra too. So, are there any catches with using the service? There are a few restrictions, so let's run through some of the things that you might need to be aware of when using Plastic. American Express cards. If you're using an American Express card, there are some categories of payments that are not allowed. This includes mortgages, student loans, auto payments, business invoices, contractors, business utilities, and healthcare premiums. This could change, but it's something that you should be aware of. Plastic will warn you when you get to the final screen to submit your payment if there's an issue. Mortgage payments. You can't use a Visa or American Express to make a mortgage payment, but you can use a Discover or MasterCard. This affects mortgages, but not rent payments. I can understand why this might be the case, but I know it might be frustrating for a lot of you who have a mortgage and want to use Plastic to pay your bills. Chase cards. If you're using a Chase card, make sure you check your credit limit and the amount that you've used. Chase has a policy where you can't make a Plastic payment using a personal Chase Visa card that is more than 20% of your current credit limit. According to Plastic, any charge to them that's over 20% of your credit limit is treated as a cash advance by Chase, so Plastic doesn't allow it. I actually experienced this issue a few months ago and didn't realize it until I noticed that I didn't get a notification for the payment. When I checked online, I noticed that the payment had failed and had to ask Plastic for more information, so be careful with this rule. As always, I also want to share some general tips for using the service. Number 1, set a reminder to verify that your payments have processed. As I mentioned earlier, I had a payment fail, but I only knew it because I noticed that my card wasn't charged. I don't think that Plastic sent me a notification or email, but it's possible that it got stuck in my spam folder. Either way, I recommend setting up a reminder to make sure that your payments go through. I have notifications for all my credit card payments through my mobile apps, but I also set up a reminder in my to-do list to verify that the payments have processed. Number 2, don't use Plastic for peer-to-peer payments. Plastic is not going to work for paying your roommate or your friend for dinner. It's meant to work for official payments where there's an actual contract in place. Just be aware that you'll only want to use the service for official arrangements where the transaction can be verified. Number 3, consider requesting a decrease in your cash advance limit. While Plastic avoided triggering a cash advance on my credit card when I used the service months ago, it might be worth asking your issuer to lower your cash advance amount. Each bank has their own policies around it. For the major issuers, it's usually possible to request it, with the exception of American Express, which doesn't allow you to lower your cash advance limit since it's automatically set by your credit limit. Number 4, check your card's expiration date. You want to make sure that your credit card's expiration date has not expired when using Plastic. This is easy to miss if you set up a recurring payment and your card expires in the near future. Again, I recommend setting up a reminder for yourself to update your account when using a card that is close to expiration. Number 5, set up a PIN code and two-factor authentication. Plastic offers additional security measures with their service. I highly recommend setting up a PIN code and enabling two-factor authentication. Just like with any bank account, you want to make sure to keep the account as secure as possible. Number 6, use their referral system to earn free dollars. If you start using Plastic, I also recommend taking advantage of their referral system. You can earn $1,000 of free dollars when someone uses your referral code, and they'll get $500 of free dollars after they make their first payment of at least $500. Number 7, be mindful of Plastic reward dollar expirations. If you earn free dollars, then you have only 90 days to use them. That's not very much time, so make sure you plan accordingly if you earn some credit from them. Number 8, consider using Plastic for business expenses. While we normally think of Plastic in terms of meeting our minimum spend requirements, it's actually quite a useful tool for businesses. If you're a small business, you can use Plastic to manage your cash flow for expenses or even work with some vendors to see if they'll accept payments earlier for a discount. For example, on my other small business, I've sometimes been given the option of making a payment early for a 5 to 10% discount. Since Plastic charges 2.5% for the transaction, the math works out in my favor. Another advantage for small business users is that you can classify Plastic transaction fees as a business tax deduction to save even more money. Just something to consider if you operate a small business and are looking for additional ways to manage your cash flow and payments. Number 9, check for promotions on Plastic's website. It's not uncommon for Plastic to run promotions where they drop the transaction fee to 1.5%. I recommend signing up for their newsletter or checking their website often for any promotions. Overall, I think Plastic is a great tool to use, especially for those of you in the points and miles hobby. It's probably not something that you'll use every month unless you're a small business, but it can really save the day if you're struggling to meet a hefty minimum spend requirement on your new credit card. I always think of it as just another tool that I have in my arsenal when dealing with these situations. As someone who doesn't spend very much in my daily life outside of travel, I've relied on the service many times in the past to help reduce the stress of meeting the minimum spend requirements on new credit cards. Have you used Plastic? If so, do you have any tips for using the service? Let us know in the comment section below. I've included our referral link and code in the video description and comments if you're looking to try out the service and want to support the channel. Also, if you're looking to apply for a new credit card, we would love it if you use our credit card offer links. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps us to continue creating content for our channel. And if you feel like you need help with figuring out which card you should get, then make sure to sign up for a free card consultation service, which includes a 15-minute call with me. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please give us a thumbs up and consider sharing our video with others. It really helps us with growing our community and our channel. Until next time, travel safe and travel smart.